All right, welcome to Tribulation 5/15, 2011. Today is October 18th. It's a Thursday out here in San Jose, California. It's like we're having another mini heat wave. It's like for several days it gets up to like the upper 90s, and then all of a sudden we go back to freezing cold weather. But that's just the norm for the tribulation that is unfolding in front of my eyes. I want to welcome any viewers that are new. I want to thank any viewers that have been sticking with the channel, that are still here watching the tribulation unfold. My studio, I had to kind of redo it, so I kind of used this backdrop, this curtain, but essentially, I'm not going to show you my whole bedroom, but I'll just kind of show you a little bit. My overall studio is like a little corner nook, so like there's my computer, and kind of like the, I got my Michael Jackson headline, the king is dead. Got my American flag flying. Always got to have your American flag flying. But I just thought I'd kind of show you that the studio, that is the full studio. It's still a little cramped space, but it works pretty good. All right, I think it was Jerry Lee Lewis, the musician, who said, "Great balls of fire." And, I couldn't believe it, because I was actually talking to a friend of mine, Patty from Tennessee. She's the Vital Truth on YouTube. But, when I was typing to her, we're talking about how crazy everything is. And basically there had been a story on the news about a meteor, a fireball that landed like in Louisiana. And like down there in the South, man, we not only got the World Series with the Cardinals going against the the San Francisco Giants, but and that game was delayed the other night because a huge storm blew in with lightning and hail and tornadoes. So the apocalypse, the tribulation, is delaying the World Series. But that whole area down there in the South, had Hurricane Katrina, they had the Gulf oil spill, and now, with the hurricane that just came through there, all sorts of oils coming up out of the ocean where, our government, once again, covering everything up, told us, oh, it's all gone. No, it's not all gone. There's just tons of oil floating around in the ocean killing stuff, from that spill. But, down there also they got like this sinkhole that, it's getting bigger by the day, and it's all these salt mines that are caving in, and supposedly it's a real explosive situation because there are hollow areas in the earth around there that are filled with like natural gas and whatnot. So everybody's afraid that there's going to be this like huge explosion down there. And now, there was a story in the news about this meteor fireball coming in, and I even saw on the internet they showed where the meteor hit, and it actually blew a train, off the tracks, crashed into the cars and destroyed them, whatever it was, big ass meteor, who knows, what's being covered up, what's not. But I was typing about that to my sister Patty, and I kind of said, hey, it's crazy with the, fireballs. And I was talking about the one that was in Louisiana. And then that night, as I was typing that message to her, a meteor comes flying over San Jose. And that was in the news this morning, a great big fireball that hit at about 7:40 last night. I didn't actually see it, I think I was indoors, watching some TV. But, there's the Orionid meteor storm coming from the constellation Orion, which is in the southwest of the night skies. There's supposed to be a whole bunch of meteors coming in tonight, but the one that they saw in San Jose last night, they said didn't come from Orion. So they don't even know where that meteor came out of or was going to or what it was. People were claiming it made a sonic boom. But, that, my friends, once again, is where we are, in this tribulation. There is just weird stuff, the extreme weather. Everybody's getting used to that. Super cyclones and tornadoes and hurricanes galore, earthquakes everywhere, volcanoes coming up everywhere, flooding, off the scale. And just today there was a 4.0 earthquake in Maine, and they shut off the nuclear reactor, had to shut down for a few minutes, and they said everything's okay. But everything's not okay. One of the big stories that's being covered up, hush, hush. And that's the world we're living in. Lies are everywhere. You watch those presidential debates and you don't even know what the truth is because, at least according to our president, every time he opened his mouth, the first thing he said was, hey, everything Romney said was untrue. And what we already know is some of the stuff that he was saying was untrue, So, right now I don't think people know what the truth is. It's hard to discern what the truth is. But, like Fukushima over there in Japan, which got hit by the huge earthquake like a year ago, that's a big cover-up. Because that's still an ongoing disaster, and Reactor 4 is completely melting down, and they said the ground at the reactor has sunk 31 inches, and what's also at Reactor 4 is the above-ground pools of stored spent fuel rods, so 30 years of fuel rods. And when all that melts down, it's going to release, radiation on a level that can't even comprehend at this point. It'll be more than, 100, nuclear bombs going off because it's just a festering sore, of continual leakage. But that's just a huge disaster that's ongoing, and yet you don't hear me even talking about it in the presidential debates or on the news or anywhere. So the tribulation continues. The world continues to spiral downwards into chaos. There's not much good news, no matter where you look around the world. Down there in, the south of the United States, the Latin American countries and South American countries, not too many of those guys are our friends, not Cuba, not Venezuela, most of those guys are kind of looking at the United States like, to you. And of course our president tells us that they love us down there, but I got my doubts. But we should all be loving each other more. I got nothing but love for the people. But the way the world works is there's always sinister forces that are at play at the highest levels of power, and they take many forms, and they come in all sizes and all shapes and all denominations and all political parties, so don't be fooled, don't put your faith in something that's man-made, ain't gonna work. But the thing that's kind of coming front and center right now, we got the final presidential debate on Monday, which I think is going to be very interesting. They're going to be talking about foreign affairs. Oh, that should just be interesting because the whole world right now is in pretty shaky shape, with the ongoing massacre in Syria, which has probably killed, they're saying 30,000, I'd say probably double that to 60,000. We got the mess in Libya, we got unrest all over the place. We got Iran going bonkers. We got Iraq falling apart. We got Afghanistan that's all crazy. Pakistan that's all crazy. Russia's really not our buddy. China's not our buddy, because they're slipping into a recession too. And, the one thing they have over the U.S. right now is our debt. And, our president, Barack Obama, God bless him, the first black president of the United States, Nobel Peace Prize winner, he has helped these countries by weakening America. Now, he'll say, oh, that's insulting. Well, who cares what he thinks at this point? But he has helped push the country, the car that he was talking about that was in the ditch when he came into office. Well, he got it back on the road, and now he's got the accelerator going full bore, driving us straight off the fiscal cliff into the abyss, because our government, spends more money than it takes in, and the world as a whole, not just the United States, but as a whole. The world now owes way more money than it can ever pay back. And who we owe all this money to, who cares? They care. I don't, And that's why things could get crazy, because whoever these people are that think they own everything, and that everybody owes them, just isn't going to go down that way. That's part of the tribulation too. So, but, here it is, the 18th. We got about 18 days or so, 14 days to the election. All bets are off. I'm still thinking we're not going to get there. Like, we're going to reach the cliff or the emergency situation before the election. But right now it doesn't look good for Obama. So I think that's kind of, supporting what I think, that he's going to use some kind of an emergency to help position himself or cancel the election altogether. That's what he loves. Like, I shot bin Laden, right? That's, we've been hearing that. Like, why should I be reelected? Oh, I shot bin Laden. Well, you know what? I don't remember you having a gun in your hand and you shooting him. That's another lie. It was SEAL Team 6. But, that's the day and age we're living in, my friends, is, the truth is getting harder and harder to find. I'm telling you, if you're looking to TV to find the truth, then you're just lost in a complete maze of, quicksand of lies and manipulation. Now, I still watch TV, but you got to be careful. But, TV from top to bottom, whether it's entertainment, sports, or news, is the biggest mind manipulation there has ever been, And once again, that's part of the end time scenario that is upon us, as, human beings, we're getting to the point where everybody's got to be plugged in to the internet, either watching their TV or carrying around their phone or their iPad, but constantly plugged in. What I'm going to recommend is you unplug out of the internet and you're trying to plug into God for a little bit, and as you can see, I use the internet and I watch TV too, but I try and make sure that I'm putting in ever more increasing amount of time on, plugging into God. All right, well, we could keep going on down the list of crazy stuff, but, there's some good stuff too, and I'll say this much. Those of us that have our minds, in the right place and are on a good path, man, one way or another, we're just going to keep marching forward as hard as possible. That's one thing, I'm feeling more motivated than ever to just try a little harder, despite the chaos, because through all of it, no matter how much the world changes in front of my face, I know I'm going to get to the other side of all that, Why? Well, the truth of it is because, the guy that's at the front shepherding me forward is Jesus Christ, I'm just going to testify to that. But anyway, to all my viewers out there, I'm going to pray that God blesses your lives as things get, highly chaotic. We still got huge food shortages coming, like food prices are going up, gas going up. It's getting bad, but God will provide, Stay thirsty, my friends. Thank you for watching. Tribulation 515, 2011. Tribulation continues.